Prarthana on Ganesh Bhagavan.
ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा नमि सुम सुमतिय करुणिसो गणपा ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा नमि सुम सुमतिय करुणिसो गणपा ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा लंबोदरने अम्बासुदने लंबोदरने अम्बासुदने आदिपूजने आश्रितपालने आदिपूजने आश्रितपालने ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा नमि सुम सुमतिय करुणिसो गणपा ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा मूषिकवाहन मुनिजनवन्द्या बहुत जन कमल निवासा पाशाङ्कुशधरने परम पवित्रने अज हरिहरनुत श्रीप्रसन्नने ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा नमि सुम सुमतिय करुणिसो गणपा ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा ओंकारनाद रूप गणपा श्रीमद्रमारमण गोविन्द
Govinda
श्री कृष्ण भगवान की
Jai
आंजनेय वरदा गोविन्द
Govinda. In the Harikatha, always interactive. We are all here to talk about a great saint. So let us all get involved in the story and participate as I keep on requesting you to participate. Holy land of India had many saints, many gurus, and few visionaries. This person in particular, not only he was a great saint, he was a great guru, he was a great visionary. He did not even just touch the hearts of people of India, he touched the hearts of millions in the whole world and worked tirelessly to uplift them. He touched young, old, rich, poor, illiterate, or literate. He just worked along with them in order to help them out, to educate them, to walk on the path of morality, on dharma. It is so interesting to see how, from a mischievous child, emerged a great man passing through being naughty, being arrogant, being not believing in God, being patriotic, and finally becoming an enlightened man under the direction of his teachers. Namely, his teachers' names are Shivananda Ji Maharaj and Tapovan Ji Maharaj. He had two big teachers, and he himself became a big, big teacher for all of us. He was the perfect combination of the highest spiritual wisdom, humor, practical sense, and was an excellent teacher who brought the most difficult Vedanta readable, palatable, and understandable by common people like us. Once, Akhandanand ji said, हम लोगों को वेदांत कैसे लोगों को सिखाते हैं? जो ईश्वर से अभिमुख है, अभिमुख है, the one who is to already towards Lord. लेकिन चिन्मया जी ऐसे लोगों को सिखाते हैं वो ईश्वर से विमुख है. That was the greatness of Chinmayananda ji. His humor, wit and humor, if you just read about him, it was great. Once a gynecologist in the group asked him, नमस्ते चिन्मया जी, आप लिविंग के लिए क्या करते हैं? मैं तो gynecologist हूँ. So he just immediately replied with a big smile. Ah, Dr. Saab, you bring life to this world. I take them out of this world. And then another, MD doctor stood up. Ah, namaste, Chinmaya ji. I give prescription to my patients. Can you give me a prescription too? He said, why not? He said, read Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12, 3 times a day for 1 month. Even if your symptoms persist, which will, please read it again. Repeat the dose. So, like that, he would just come out with the answers right away. One person came and said, I need your autograph, Swamiji. He said, yes, what's your name? He said, my name is Raja Ram. He said, बाहर राजा बन के रखो, अंदर राम बनो भाई. That was another lady came down, and I believe she said, Swamiji, I was very late and I was very busy. I have to go take my children here, take my children there. I have so much of work. I missed all your lectures for the whole 7 days. Swamiji, can you just give me the gist of Vedanta? She wanted the gist of Vedanta because she's very, very busy in her life. So he said, okay, I can give that. Detach, attach. She was surprised. Vedanta just is detach, attach. And he said, detach from this worldly thing, attach to the Lord. That was his kind of spontaneity. For anything, for everything, he had an answer right away. Right away. And as he was saying, किसी को अंदर आने दो, किसी को बाहर जाएगा. Let the devotion enter you and the desire will go out. That was his like on the spot thing. And he also said, cultured give happiness wherever they go, and uncultured give happiness whenever they go. So his wit and humor, the way he used to involve during his teaching, made him very his talks very, very interesting to all the people. Let us sing a bhajan about him, right? Let us sing a bhajan about him. And बार बार प्रणाम है. All of you have to sing बार बार प्रणाम है. Let's practice. बार बार प्रणाम है. That means I am folding my hands and I'm doing namaskar. Okay?
बारंबार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है. चिन्मय जन का नाम था, सिद्ध बारी धाम है. ऐसे श्री गुरुदेव को, ऐसे श्री गुरुदेव को बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है. शंकर जिनके
बार बार
प्रेरक थे, तपोवन जिनके सतगुरु थे. ऐसी चिन्मय गुरु को, ऐसी चिन्मय गुरु को बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है। वेदांत के अभिवक्ता को, उपनिषदों के प्रचारक को, श्री सद्गुरु परमेश्वर को, सद्गुरु परमेश्वर को बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जन के प्रेरक थे, यज्ञ जन का धर्म था, ऐसे चिन्मय कृष्ण को, ऐसे चिन्मय कृष्ण को बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है। गीता ज्ञान प्रचारक को, मानव के शुभ चिंतक को, ऐसे योगी चिन्मय को, ऐसे योगी चिन्मय को बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है। कई बार बार फोल्ड योर हैंड्स, बार बार प्रणाम है, बार बार प्रणाम है।
Holy land of India. Kerala state is a green state. It's called as the Emerald State of India. Already that state had given birth to many saints like Narayana Tirtha, Chattambi Swamigal, Ramana Maharshi, Shivanandaji Maharaj, Tapovanji Maharaj, all were from this state. On May 8th, 1916, May 8th, 1916, at evening around 7:30 p.m., there was a birth of a new baby to Vadakkai Kurupat Kuttan Menon. Father's name was Kuttan Menon and mother's name was Parukutti. Parukutti Amma Kuttan Menon. They had a beautiful child and they were so happy because the child just by birth itself looked very happy and he had very big eyes. Big eyes. The baby was looking very bright and Parukutti Amma was so happy to look at the child and just like how, what is Krishna's mom's name? Yashoda. And how Yashoda, she used to put the baby in the cradle, Krishna, and she used to put them sing lullaby song and put them to sleep. Same like this. Parukutti Amma was so happy to look at their child. It was their first son, first child. And she put the baby in the cradle and she also sang lullaby. Lalla, lalla, Lori. Lalla, lalla, Lori. Halrave, dhulrai, malhave. जो कोई कछु भावे, जसोदा हरि पालनी झूला हर रावे बोल रानी मलहावे। मेरे लाल को आऊनी दरिया काहे
नारी सुनावे तू काहे ना देहि सुआवे तू को गाना बुलावे कलरावे फुलराई मलहारे गावे फुलराई मलहारे लल्ला लल्ला मोरी लल्ला लल्ला मोरी लल्ला लल्ला मोरी लल्ला लल्ला मोरी
And this beautiful child on the fourth day, the scholar, great man, Chattambi Swamigal. He's like a priest, like a very great scholar, social reformer. He came to name the baby. And naming ceremony was done for the baby, and they called him as Balakrishna Menon. What was his name when he was a child? Menon, his last name. Menon was his last name. His name was Balakrishna. And lovingly, his parents called him as Balan. They called him as Balan. Now, this child was growing up and he became around like 2 years. This Chettambi Swamigal who named the baby, he started coming to the house more frequently. And he would carry Balan on his lap, and then he would be talking the language which nobody could understand. It was not Sanskrit, it was not Tamil, it was not Malayalam, it was none of those. Because then the mother was watching and she asked Chattambi Swamigal, अरे भाई अब कौन सी लैंग्वेज में बात कर रहे हो मेरे लल्ला के साथ? ये तो तमिल नहीं है, ये तो मलयालम भी नहीं है, अब कौन सी भाषा में आप बात कर रहे हैं मेरे लल्ला के साथ? मेरे को थोड़ा कंसर्न हो रहा है. Then he said, Chatambi Swamigal said, Re Re, don't worry. This is between me and him. This is between me and him. I am talking to him and he's understanding everything. And I have taught him everything. This is what Chatambi Swamigal said. And the child started growing. And around like 5 years, by then, he already had two sisters, Padmini and Kanaka. Padmini and Kanaka were two sisters. But around like five, during the birth, labor time of the third child, mother passed away. So now three children, no mother, and Auntie Kuchiamma came and took all the three children. And in the extended family, like uncles and aunts and cousins and everyone, these they started taking care under the direction of his aunt Kuchiamma. The children started growing up. And he was very, very good in reading, writing, and he loved badminton. He loved to play badminton. And wherever he went, he was full of mischief. He was full of jokes. And he is full of, like our Arnav, very, very talkative. All the time talkative. And everybody is listening to me. Type. And he was very good in mimicry. Are you good in mimicry? Imitating? Try it. He was very good in imitating the elders in the family, and all of them, when they all get together in the living room, he would stand up first, and then he would start imitating everybody in the room, And then he would say, I'm going to do Krishna's role. I'm going to do this Rama's role. And full of laughter, joke. Wherever he went, there was brightness. There was happiness. Nobody could say this child does not have the mother. He was like, he would illuminate the room like that. But the only thing is, he was so active. In their house, they had every day big family. They all in the evening have to take bath, and then because Kerala is a very hot state, so they all have to take bath again in the evening because they sweat a lot. And in the evening, they will light the lamp, and all the men will sit down, and all the women would sit down on one side, and they would chant Vishnu Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, and after that, 1,000 names of Lalita Devi. That is Lalita Sahasranam. So they would chant. Now imagine 1,000 names of Vishnu and 1,000 names of Lalita, how long that will take. And then finally, Aarti. When the Aarti comes, all the children know that the puja is over and they can start eating time. So this was their ritual, which Balan hated it a lot. He just doesn't want to sit quietly for 2 hours. Arnava, are you going to sit quietly now? No, 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 no. You're going to sit down. So all the children would sit, and the Balan was a restless one. So Auntie Kuchiyamma said, Balan, sit down there. No sitting down. അത്താഴമുല്ലാം പ്രാർത്ഥനയില്ല അത്താഴമുല്ല. അത്താഴം means dinner. ഞാൻ എത്ര തടവേ പറയണം? അവിടെ ഇരിക്കാൻ നീ എത്ര തടവേ പറയണം? How many times to tell you to sit down nicely and pray? So as soon as the food is brought out, the name of the food, you will be given after the arti good food. He would sit down and then he would sing. Let us see, like Balan, are you going to sing? Let us do one Krishna song and see how well you join and how well you focus.
சிலங்கை கட்டி சிலங்கை கட்டி
Chilangai means bells.
ஓடி ஓடி வாயோ சிலங்கை கட்டி ஓடி ஓடி வாயோ என்னை தவறு கண்ணாடி ஆடி வாயோ சிலங்கை கட்டி ஓடி ஓடி வாயோ என்னை தவறு கண்ணாடி ஆடி வாயோ நின்று பிஞ்சு பாதம் தேடி தேடி வங்கள் நின்று திவ்ய ராம பாடி பாடி வந்தோம் ஓ சிலங்கை கட்டி ஓடி ஓடி வாயோ என்னை தவற கண்ணா ஆடி ஆடி வாயோ ஓ சிலங்கை கட்டி ஓடி ஓடி வாயோ கண்ணா ஆடி ஆடி வாயோ தேவகி நந்தன ராஜா ஜீவன ஹரி மாதவா பூதன மர்தன பாப விநாசன விஷ்ணுவா ஹரி மாதவா गोकुल बाले ओडी वायो आनंद गीतवे आडी वायो चिलक कटी ओडी ओडी वायो एंडे तवर कण्णा आडी आडी वायो ओ चिलक कटी ओडी ओडी वायो एंडे कमल कण्णा आडी आडी वायो
Come on, clap.
तवर कण्णा आडी आडी वायो कमल कण्णा आडी आडी वायो कन्ने कमल कण्णा आडी आडी वायो.
Right after this, every day this has to happen. Now Swamiji wrote in his biography, I was getting very, very bored. Every day we have to sit and sing. Every day it's too long for me. Then he has no go. Then, in their small puja room, just like how we have so many pictures, like that they had many pictures of all gods. Rama, Krishna, Chandrasekhara means Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, Parvati, everybody's picture was on the prayer room. So Balan started looking when Vishnu Sahasranam chanting is going on. He's looking and looking. And one which caught his attention was Lord Shiva, who is also called as Chandra Shekhara, the one who has moon on his head. So he was started focusing on that picture. What he would do, he would look at the picture. This god is very interesting because he has two eyes. Then he has one eye over here, the third eye. Then he has a snake. Then he has a jata. His hair is all tied up, half of it, and half of it is all left down. Hmm. Then he has a Rudrakshamala on his neck. Oh, don't forget, he has the vibhuti on his forehead and on his arms. Hmm. Like this, he would start observing what the picture contained. And then he would close his eyes. Okay, now this Chandrasekhara means what? The one who has the jata, the one who has a snake around it. Like that, he started focusing on the picture of Lord Shiva. Aya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikatrikalaya Kalaviruddhaya Neelakanthaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha भस्मभूषिताङ्गहरा चन्द्रशेखरा भस्मभूषिताङ्गहरा चन्द्रशेखरा फालनेत्रशूलधारि शम्भो शङ्करा फालनेत्रशूलधारि शम्भो शङ्करा भस्मभूषिताङ्गहरा चन्द्रशेखरा भस्मभूषिताङ्गहरा चन्द्रशेखरा प्रियकरा त्रिकोटेश्वरा बिल्वाचल प्रियकरा त्रिकोटेश्वरा ढम 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 रुगधर शिव महेश्वरा ढम 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 रुगधर शिव महेश्वरा गंगाधर गौरी वरवसव शंकरा गंगाधर गौरी वरवसव शंकरा श्रीशैल क्षेत्र निलय शिव मल्लेश्वरा श्रीशैल क्षेत्र निलय शिव मल्लेश्वरा शत्रुभयंकरा हरा सर्वशुभंकरा शत्रुभयंकरा हरा सर्वशुभंकरा भस्मभूषितांगहरा चन्द्रशेखरा भस्मभूषितांगहरा चन्द्रशेखरा 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 He started observing the characteristics of Lord Shiva and he would close down and say, okay, Lord Shiva, Lord Chandrasekhara means he has a jata, he has water flowing, he has three eyes, he has this, he has that, he has that. So by the end of the prayer session, if he wants to say, oh, who is Chandrasekhara? Lord Shiva's picture would immediately come into his mind. So he became very much interested in the bhajan classes now because every picture he started studying and internalizing inside his heart, inside his mind. So later on, as soon as he says the God's name, the things that used to appear to him. And he started going to school, modern school, where he learned Malayalam and Sanskrit. And then he started going, he grew up a little bit older. Then he went to Ramavarma Boys School. And in the school also, he can finish the classwork very quickly and he would find time in helping his sisters, Padmini and Kanakam. And wherever he went, there was laughter. Now he is growing up. He became a teenager. Problems started. Now, teenager, he does not want to listen to anybody. Mother would say, Balan, it is time for bhajan. You have to go, you take bath and come back here for the thing. He said, "What? Morning only I had bath. Why again bath, 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 bath? Then you would go, you would pretend to the bathroom or to the river or to the water tap outside. He would just take little water and wet his hair on his face a little bit. Ah, finish, finish. I finished the bath. Then he would come and sit down. And in Kerala, it's all so hot. They used to wear a lot of cotton shirts. So you change and you wear white cotton shirts. He stopped wearing just because his father said, Balan, go and change your shirt. Wear the cotton shirt. He would go and wear silk shirt and come. He would go wear silk shirt and come. And then he was very much interested in looking in his mirror and admiring himself. He was a good kid. He was a good looking kid. And he would stand in front of the mirror, but take a little oil. Nowadays, these people, they use the gel, but they used to do the oil. And he would comb and comb and comb and comb. The father used to get very irritated. Palan, how much combing you're doing your head? One day you're going to go bald. He used to yell at him. He loved his son, but he was getting worried because Balan would not agree for anything. You say something, he will go opposite. And they'll say, let's go to the temple. He does not want to go to the temple. Like he would be dead against going to the temple. His grades also started going down. And he was in science class. His father was a judge in the court, the Ernakulam court. He was a very well-read man. He was a judge, but his grades were going down. Now, so now what they did, they shifted. He said, I'm very worried about my son because he's not even listening to anything what the elders are saying. He's going against it. So then they changed to Trishur. And from science subjects, he changed over to arts. Then he started doing a little bit better. However, with average, he was extremely intelligent. He was extremely, had the capacity. It just was the aptitude. The attitude and the aptitude was not there as a teenager. But then finally, he came up to the college level. Around 1940s, he was sent to college and he went to Lucknow. He wanted to take English literature as the major and he wanted to take as another major, double major in law. That's how he went to Lucknow. He didn't want to go to Lucknow. When people were asking, hey, bhai, what is this from Kerala state? You are going all the way up there in the northern part of India to Lucknow. He said, hey, simple है रे मेरे को सीट नहीं मिला इधर इसीलिए जिधर मिलता है मेरे को उधर जाने का है इधर तो मैं नहीं मिला ना, तेरे को मिला, मेरे को नहीं मिला, मेरा मार्क्स लो है. He was very upfront in saying what it is. Always told the truth. But I didn't get it. So, but my father is sending me. पैसा है उनके पास. So he went to college in Lucknow. But once he went to Lucknow, he suddenly kind of like realized like everyone is looking at him. He's a little dark-skinned guy from the south. ये Madrasi है, you know, Madrasi hai. So, and dark skin, but he was very lean and very tall. And he always very much interested in his clothing. Always spent a lot of time in front of the mirror. And, very tall guy and big eyes, as I said, big eyes. And he was very good colloquially, like he was a very good orator. And he was a very good in spontaneously telling the jokes to people. And he joined the literary club, he joined the debate club. Wherever this talk thing is there, he joined that. And overnight kind of thing, he became, quote unquote, a popular, handsome guy. And like everyone wanted to in the college, wanted to hang around with him. And he was very good in badminton. So all the sports people, they came to him, and all the literary club and these writing things and all that, they all came to him. So he became a very popular guy, and he became very active in campus and debating club. This was all good things are happening, and around 2 years later, he enjoyed this prominence. In 2 years, 1942, Mahatma Gandhi had called for quit India movement. British were ruling India at that time, and Indians were really in a very suffering status. And he, Mahatma Gandhi, had started the movement. The movement really picked up. So children and the students and from the colleges and high school, they started leaving the school and started jumping into this quit India movement. You think the popular guy Balan will stop? He also picked up the Indian flag and he jumped. Let us all go with Balan and visualize Balan in the front lead in Mahatma Gandhi's Quit India movement to fight against the British for Bharat. Come on, put your hands together.
आज हिमालय की चोटी से फिर हमने ललकारा है, दूर हटो दूर हटो दूर हटो, ये दुनिया वालों हिंदुस्तान हमारा है, दूर हटो ये दुनिया वालों हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. जहाँ हमारा ताजमहल है और कुतुब मीनारा है, जहाँ हमारे मंदिर मस्जिदों का गुरुद्वारा है, इस धरती पर कदम बढ़ाना अत्याचार तुम्हारा है,
अत्याचार तुम्हारा है, अत्याचार तुम्हारा है.
दूर हटो
दूर हटो दूर हटो,
दुनिया वालों
हिंदुस्तान हमारा है,
दूर हटो दुनिया वालों
हिंदुस्तान हमारा है.
आज हिमालय की चोटी से फिर हमें ललकारा है, आज हिमालय की चोटी से फिर हमें ललकारा है.
दूर हटो दूर हटो दूर हटो, दुनिया वालों हिंदुस्तान हमारा है.
दूर हटो ये दुनिया वालों हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. हुआ है जंग हमारा, जाग जो हिंदुस्तानी, तुम न किसी के आगे झुकना, जर्मन हो या जापानी,
जर्मन हो या जापानी,
आज सभी के लिए हमारा यही कौमी नारा है, आज सभी के लिए हमारा यही कौमी नारा है. दूर हटो
दूर हटो दूर हटो, दुनिया दुनिया वालों हिंदुस्तान हमारा है.
दूर हैं। दूर हटो, दूर हटो, दूर हटो, ये दुनिया वालों, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है। दूर हटो, 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 दूर हटो।
But the British, they crushed this movement, this strike, this movement with their guns, with beating. Thousands got killed with their guns, and thousands got imprisoned. And our Balan was not, he was in the front, and he was a good orator. He was going on the stage and do rato. He was yelling and he was writing pamphlets and flyers and distributing to everybody to fight against the British. So now immediately an arrest warrant was issued. वो मद्रासी को ढूंढो पकड़ो. So Balan had to go in hiding. He ran away to Kashmir in hiding. It was a very, very difficult years because he had to be hiding so that the police won't catch him. And he used to somehow come to Delhi to his friend Shraf's house. And in the night, the Shraf would steal food from his kitchen and would supply him with the food, with fresh clothes, and hand over some money to him. And then he would again go back, covering himself, and he would go back to Kashmir, everywhere hiding, hiding, hiding. Life was tough. But anyway, after 2 years, he said, police must have forgotten about this Madrasi. So he came to Punjab. But as soon as he came to Punjab, तो उधर तो देखा अभी भी, that freedom movement is going on. So immediately he forgot all his agony and suffering, what he went through. He immediately started writing pamphlets. He started going up on the stage. He started speaking. Boom, police saw him. Madrasi ko pakada, jail mein dala. And that prison was very, very bad prison. There was no rooms. There was starvation. There was no food. There was no lightening. There was no one bathroom was being used by 50, 60 people. And there's no cleaning agent to clean the bathroom. And there is no ventilation. All these freedom fighters were pushed into one small room. So lack of ventilation, lack of hygiene, lack of food. Balan felt very ill, very, very ill. And he used to see from his group, he could hear that they would drag them, the British would drag them, couple of them every day, go to the next room, and he could hear them screaming in pain because the British were kicking and beating and punishing them, and Balan could hear. And sometimes he could watch the dead bodies are being taken out of the prison. He would sit and think, the reality of death, I cannot forget it. If this man was talking to me yesterday, he was playing with me, or we were talking about India's independence, and today he's being dragged out. So this life is so temporary. If life is so temporary, then what is permanent? What is permanent? What are we fighting for? What is this life for? All these questions used to come. And then we got typhus fever. And of course, there are no medical facility, there are no doctors. So उसने बोला ये बंदा मरने वाला है. One more lock-up death will happen. अरे अभी तो ये मरने वाला है, उसको बाहर फेंक दो. Let him die in the street instead of inside the prison. So overnight, he had high fever, about 103, 104 degrees. They said definitely he is going to die. So they gathered him up in the night and threw him in the outskirts on the street. For high fever, semi-conscious state, he could make out that he was being thrown, but he was thrown on the street and Maro, he went up and he was about to die. But the destiny was not that. His the goal of his life, the mission of his birth on this earth, even had not even begun. So suddenly a car came by, sent by who? Don't know. A lady was driving and the light fell on the body that was on the street. And she stopped the car. And the light was falling on the face of Balin. And she looked at him. He looked like her own son. She was missing her only son very badly because he had joined the army and he had left the house. She was alone. And, he was 25 years old and the son was also. This boy looks just like my son. And especially his nose. It looks exactly like my son. So she scooped him out of the street, took him home, called the doctor, and treated him. And Swamiji wrote in his book, "This fat nose of mine saved my life. If I had a flat nose and a thin nose, she would not have said, I resemble her son, but this fat nose of mine saved my life." So he stayed there in their house and with a good treatment and with good food and everything covered. So as soon as he recovered, he thanked her profusely. Later on in his biography, he writes that he goes back and he thanks, searches for that lady and how much grateful he was and thanks her. And he leaves the house and then he goes to his cousin's house in Baroda. His name is Achyutamanan. He was a forest officer in Baroda. He goes there and there Swamiji talks a lot about his stay in Baroda because he was craving for South Indian food, especially the sambar and rice and puttu. Puttu is a very popular food and a vada. Today already she made and bonda, everything what Swamiji likes. So, uh, so he stayed there in Achyuta Menon's house, and he said he got better, but then he would sit near the window sill and look outside. There he used to see a mochi. Do you know what a mochi is? Mochi means shoe cobbler. These children do not know. Um, when the shoe gets bad or when the shoe needs get a repair, nobody repairs here anyway. They just throw it and buy a new one. But in back home, we did not do that. We would repair the shoes. And there is no store or anything which would repair the shoe. There are specific people who would sit on the street and wait for the customers to come in the hot sun. They would sit and wait. And if anyone sandals are broken, if the shoes are broken, you go to them and they will repair it. And that's how they made their living. They are called as Gucci. And he would see how Mochi's life was, how grateful he is to, how grateful Mochi is. Those days, maybe 10 paisa, for not even 10 paisa, I think, he would get. He would get to polish their shoes. The people would just come and he would have like a small stool kind of a thing. People would come and put their leg on top of it. He would look up and then he would start polishing their shoes. That's all he did, hours and hours and hours together. But he would watch. Then Balan started thinking, what a disparity of life. Look at this man, whole from morning till evening for 5 paisa, like 5 cents. 5 cents, he's sitting from morning till evening. to earn his living. And no one even thanks him. No one says even Shukriya, thank you. And they walk away, not even handing over the 5 paisa. They just throw the 5 paisa at him like this. And amount of work, amount of physical agony that this man takes, Palan became very compassionate and he would observe all these things. And then he decided that I must raise my voice against these atrocities of these upper class people. How do I do that? So he started writing articles under the name Mochi. Under the name Mochi, he started writing articles about the disparity of the society and how these higher class rich people are treating the lower class people. And even, for that matter, he also observed like how certain people are in the attire of saffron clothes as Swamijis and they're begging on the street. They're begging, अरे भाई आ जाओ आ जाओ आ जाओ हम आपको वो भविष्य बताते हैं हम बस भगवान का शुक्र है हम आशीर्वाद करते हैं आओ आओ भाई and people used to come namaste Swamiji and then he would first ask his 25 paisa or 10 paisa and then he would extend his hand and they would give 10 paisa and then they say ah भगवान आपको भला करे भगवान आपको भला करे. This is what those attire. He looked at what is the meaning of wearing the orange saffron. Is this is what it this is what saffron clothing means. This is what being a Swamiji means. His his mind. And he sent those articles to newspapers. And of course, the newspaper loved it. They started publishing it. He started getting money for writing these kinds of things. So finally, he collected all the money. He went back to Lucknow and now he finished his college degree. He took, now this time he focused really well on his education and he took honor in journalism and masters in English. And then he came to, after college degree was over, double major, big degree, he came to Delhi. He came to Delhi, which is the most place where political activities are going on. And he joined as a journalist in National Herald newspaper at that time. And immediately there also, he was very upfront in speaking about the truth, his way of saying the truth, and that he wanted to fight for India's independence. He wanted to talk about the disparity. He wanted to talk about the injustice, what that's going on, and how British are crushing the Indian. All this he poured out openly. And he told everyone, I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I'm not afraid of anybody. Not afraid. In Tamil and Malayalam, afraid means acham illai. Acham illai means I am not afraid. मैं डरता नहीं हूं.
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை
அச்சமெம்புதில்லையே
அச்சமில்லை
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமெம்பதில்லையே
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை
அச்சமெம்புதில்லையே
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே இச்சகத்தில் உள்ளோரெல்லாம் எதிர்த்து நின்ற போதிலும் அச்சமில்லை
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமெம்புதில்லையே
துச்சமாகி எண்ணி நம்மை தூறு செய்து போதிலும்
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே
பிச்சை வாங்கி ஊனம் வாழ்க பெற்று விட்ட போதிலும்
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே
இச்சை கொண்ட பொருளெல்லாம் இழந்து விட்ட போதிலும்
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே
அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே அச்சமில்லை அச்சமில்லை அச்சமென்பதில்லையே அச்சமில்லை
அச்சமில்லை. he wrote, and he became very popular again in Delhi. And all the higher class, upper class societies and all the clubs, they used to invite him because in the party, he was the one who would talk and who would make jokes and use the sarcastic comments and everything. He became very, very popular. But he was also observing. There is some in the upper class society or the rich people, when they have these parties, they're having all these materialistic things, but there is something that's lacking. There is dissatisfaction. There is truth. There, the truth is hiding. There is no satisfaction. And he was staying at that time with his uncle, Govinda Menon. He was explaining to his Govinda Menon his experience. Uncle, in 1936, when I was in end of high school, I traveled in the train in South India. And one day, all of a sudden, I saw everybody in the train running to the window and they're seeing, looking at a brown mountain. And, and that brown mountain is none other than famous Arunachala temple. In the Arunachala temple, in the Arunachala temple, and so he saw everybody. Then everybody got down. Everybody got down and he said, why are you all getting down to the temple? Yes, but we are going somewhere else too before the temple. They all got down. It was a hot day and he also got down and he also got down and started walking. After walking a lot, he reached a hut and everybody is gone inside and he also went inside and there was a little space in the front. He came and sat down in the front, and in the front, like a dais like this, one frail looking man with no shirt, with only one piece of cloth and that's around his waist, his eyes closed. He's sitting there like a yogi, and all people are sitting right there. He said, why are you all waiting here? This man does not even have money to dress up, half, half dressed. Why? All, shh. No, I'm just asking, who is this man? Shh. Then as the man opened his eyes, right in front, Balan was sitting. He opened his eyes. He was none other than the great sage Ramana Maharshi. Sage Ramana Maharshi slowly opened his eye like as though he was waiting for Balan to come. All that time his eyes were closed. As soon as Balan said, shh, shh, and he looked up, their eyes met. Their eyes met. Balan started feeling, why is he looking at me? He's, he's just not looking at my face. He, he, he's looking inside me. He's looking and inside me. He's looking at my ego. He is looking at my impurities. He is looking at my imperfection. Now, now something else is happening. He's taking everything out of me and he's throwing them out. He's emptying me. Now, now he's filling me in. He's filling me. He's filling me with his light. He's filling me with his light. I can't, I can't stop folding my hands and take, take Saranam, take Sharanagati. I, I want to surrender at his feet. I want to surrender at his feet. நிறைந்து நிறையும் நிறையும் மலை நிறைந்து நிறைந்து உன்னை நிறையும் நிறையும் மலை கண்ணீராய் 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 பொங்கும் ரமணா இந்த கண்ணீராய் பொங்கும் ரமணா அருணை இறைவனாய் கருணை செய்து அருணை இறைவனாய் கருணை செய்து ஜனனருணத்தை அறுப்பாய் ரமணா மரண பயத்தை அழிப்பாய் ஜனனருணத்தை அறுப்பாய் ரமணா மரண பயத்தை அழிப்பாய் நிறைந்து நிறைந்து உன்னை நிறையும் நிறையும் மனம் கண்ணீராய் பொங்கும் ரமணா இந்த கண்ணீராய் பொங்கும் ரமணா 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 No, this is not happening to me. This is not happening to me. This person must be a hypnotist. He has done something to me. No, 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 no. I am the journalist. Uh, 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 I am masters. This is not happening. Nobody can hypnotize me. He must be a hypnotist. Ramana Maharshi's followers, they said, Sir, come and have some lunch. No, 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 no. I don't want to stay here even for a minute. Not in front of this man. But I don't understand what he did to me. I don't. I don't. He told this uncle. I don't know what happened to me. But later on in his book, he writes about this incident. And he relates this incident to Tapovanji Maharaj because as he's sitting under the feet of his Gurudev Tapovanji Maharaj near the river Ganges, he relates this incident and he says, Guruji, the feeling that I felt today near Ganges, sitting at your feet, now I understand that I have the same feeling today what I had experienced that day with Sage Ramana Maharshi. And Tapovanji Maharaj keeps his hand on him and he says, I also had the same experience, Chinmaya. You will, as you go further and further, you will understand who you are and why you are here. And Balan comes back after this incident. He starts reading different kinds of books of Ramana Maharshi, of Arbindo, of Ramatirtha, of Vivekananda, and Swami Shivananda. And the book that attracts him the most was Shivananda Ji Maharaj, who has many, many books in English and Hindi. He starts reading about them and he gets influenced by those books because Shivananda Maharaj Ji keeps on quoting, do good, be good, serve, love each other, serve each other, love each other. You will get purified and meditate, realize, serve the poor, serve the needy. This is all he kept on writing. So Balan thinks, this man must be like the other Swamijis who stands on the street and then begs for 25 paisa. This is my time now. I'm going to expose this sadhu, this Swamiji, whoever he is. His writings are interesting, but I am going there. I'm going to go there and I'm going to expose him to the core. And he goes to Rishikesh, where Shivanandaji Maharaj, Divine Life Society ashram is there. And he goes there, and first day that he goes, and he has a cigarette in his hand, and you know, Swamiji is walking with all his followers, and he says, "Ah, good morning. I am Balan. I'm Balakrishna Menon from Delhi newspaper, and I'm coming from the Herald, because Herald was a very big news agency at the time. I'm from there. I have come here to take an interview with you. Can we do the interview?" He's walking along with his followers. Swamiji just stops. He looks at him and said, sure, we can have the interview tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. You stay, please stay, take in the room, rest, and we will do. And then he walks away. He raises his voice. I said I'm a very busy man, and I'm a very highly educated man, and I'm very very busy, and I would like to have the interview right now or just 10 minutes later. Swamiji walks back to him and he says, "You are educated. That means you went to college. Going to college and knowing how to read and write will only make you literate, not educated." And stunned, didn't expect. Then he goes back and then, he continues to smoke. And then Swamiji looks at his follower. And then she comes near him and says, hmm, journalist साहब, आपको reading आता है? Board देखो. There it says he's smoking under no smoking zone. And they don't say anything. They say, please पढ़ो. Then goes away and goes back to his room. From his room, he can visualize in the ashram what is happening. So he goes, he's getting bored and he lifts up near the window and he sees Swamiji treating so many leprosy patients. His children do not know what leprosy is. Leprosy is a very contagious disease which spreads easily. So contagious leprosy patients, they looked all very, very poor. And Swamiji is treating and sees them. And then next day morning, Swamiji has worked until 12 in the midnight. Next day morning, 3 o'clock, he's up and he's teaching big yoga class. It's a big yoga center, and he's teaching yoga. And after that, he sits down and he writes articles. Then he addresses the meditation class. Then he does one after the other, one after the other. The activities are going on. And in between, he brought himself tea, tea and biscuits to Balan. Are you comfortable? We have the interview today. Don't worry. Have some biscuits. And then he goes back and then he served fruits and tea and everything. Now, oh, This man is totally a different Swamiji than what I saw or what I was thinking. Slow. He's observing. He's observing what's happening. And he came back. He came back after he does the interview and he comes back. But then he gets called back by Shivananda Swamiji because his 60th birthday celebrations are happening and they're bringing out a souvenir. They know that he's a journalist and he knows how to write very well. So he gets called back. And now this time when he comes back, he stays a little longer. He wants to stay longer in the ashram and he starts participating in the activities. And but Shivanandaji Maharaj, straight away looking at Balan, recognizes his potential. He says, "Hey Balan, you have so much of education. The God gave you so much of intelligence. Why don't you use that intelligence for him?" Gives gives him a clue. Why don't you use that intelligence for him? Give it back to him, man. You also become a sannyasi like us. And Balan laughs and he comes back, but he comes back to do the souvenir. Now, he one day when all of them are sitting, he immediately challenges Balan. Balan, come and speak a few words to the public. It could be anything. It could be your experience in the ashram or how you got here, whatever. You know, you come and do the uh, talk. His tongue gets tied. He cannot even speak a word. He didn't know how to do the public speaking. He can write, but he did not. He has never done the public speaking like this kind of philosophical, religious. So he says, "No, come tomorrow prepared. Come and speak about Shreyas and Prayas. That's the topic for you." So he goes home and he has no religious books, no time to read. From his own mind, he sits there and he thinks. Shreyas means what is good for the Atman, and Prayas means what is good for the senses. Exactly opposite. So for the first time, Balan gets up and from his own heart and mind, he speaks about Shreyas and Prayas. So that was the beginning. And he brings back many books of Shivanandaji. And in his newspaper, he writes a separate corner as the religious, scientific, philosophical corner. And then he writes a lot um, about the Swamiji. Then he keeps on going back and forth to Rishikesh in Delhi. And his friend Shroff, remember? The person who helped him a lot, he has become severely ill. He has a family, he has a job, he has everything. He becomes severely ill and he dies. Now, his parents are very old and they give the ashes, Ganga, Ganga Medalo, aisa. They give him that in the pot. Now he's coming back to Rishikesh. Again, you see the fate, it keeps brings him back to Rishikesh. Now he's in the train. He's thinking, I have traveled so many times to Rishikesh, and in the same train, me and Shraff, we traveled together. But now Shraff is in a pot. He's only ashes and some bones. My friend, the one who helped me since college days, the one who was very close to me, and now he cannot travel with me. He cannot talk to me. He cannot He cannot even have a conversation with me because he is in a pot, just as ashes and bones. What kind of life is this? What kind of temporary thing is this? He comes back to Shivanandaji and he says, Swamiji, I have lots of questions. I have lots of questions. Every day, hundreds of questions he asks. And if you I know the time is running. How this, how Balan, who was totally dead again, this this chapter of conversation between Shivanandaji Maharaj and himself is philosophical questions and answers, and how Shivanandaji Maharaj answers right. It's a very beautiful chapter, but you need a lot of time to do that. So, anyway, in the end, they ask, Swamiji, my friend is dead, and why am I alive? That time I was dead, and I was almost going to be dead, and then I got saved, and I am alive here. And this man was alive, and now he's dead. What is this confusion? Shivanandaji said, Balan, how many times you keep asking questions to me? I can answer these questions every day for you, but when will you question yourself, Balan? When will you do the quest? Quest means self realization, asking yourself. You do a quest inside. Go inside, Balan. Go inside and ask yourself. Find the answer. Find the question and find the answer to yourself. When are you doing your quest? If you have not watched the movie Quest, watch it. Quest. That's Shivanandaji Maharaj's words. Do the quest, Balan. Then let's go forward. Then he goes along with his another new Swamiji who happened to be his cousin also. They go on Chardham Yatra. And when they go on Chardham Yatra, they meet Tapovanji Maharaj's ashram. And by the time he comes back, Balan has totally changed. Totally. I mean, I'm just making it shorter. So he's totally changed, and he comes back and he tells Shivanandaji Maharaj that I would like to take sannyasam. I would like to renounce everything and I would like to take sannyasam. Usually, if he's not married, the parents have to give permission to become sannyasi. So the father was surprised, Kuttan Menon, from where my son was, how my son was. Now he is becoming a sadhu, a sannyasi, and gives him permission on Mahashivaratri day. He takes sannyasam and he gets the new name as Swami Chinmayananda. Swami Chinmayananda Maharaj ki. Swami Chinmayananda Maharaj ki. This is the first half of Chinmayanandaji's life. So, just because of the time constraint, we are stopping at part A. Part B contains what happens after Chinmayananda becomes Chinmayananda and how he gets a new guru, Tapovanji Maharaj, and what happens and how all these, the whole spiritual world that how did he create Balvihar? How did we create? And I don't know, maybe all of you are aware. And today, Chinmaya Mission has around more than 325 countries in 325 centers in 25 countries, including India, UK, USA, Canada, South Africa, UAE, Bahrain, Sri Lanka, Trinidad, Indonesia, and France. And what is his contribution? What is his contribution? Chinmaya Chichu Vihar, Chinmaya Bal Vihar, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, Chinmaya Devi Group, Chinmaya Temple, Chinmaya for Rural Development, Chinmaya International Foundation, Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Chinmaya Colleges, Chinmaya Residential School, Chinmaya Hospital, Chinmaya Institute of Nursing, Chinmaya Rural Healthcare, Chinmaya Vedanta Institute, Chinmaya Ecos, Chinmaya Publications, Chinmaya Commentaries, Chinmaya Gyani, Chinmaya Spiritual Camps. There are many. How much has he given back to the society? How many Chinmaya things are existing? We we know Chinmaya Center in New Jersey, Chinmaya Center in New York, and Chinmaya Center in. But how much is there about each center? There's a whole books have come out about how each center has an interesting episodes, how each center was initiated, how it was built, all that, the how Janaki Seth in Delhi started Bal Vihar, and how from Bal Vihar it came down. It was not called as um, it was called as the Children Developmental Center, something like that. And later on, in one Mr. Raju Iyer and all, when he came to Madras, that's where in 1960s the real Chinmaya mission centers happened, Devi groups happened, and Bal Vihar happened. And he is the root cause for the initiation of Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Anyone knows about them? In, let's sing one Dharma and he is the root cause for, he was the first president of Vishwa Hindu Parishad for the sake of Sanatana Dharma. Dharma rakshati rakshita,
धर्मो रक्षति रक्षिता
Dharma rakshati rakshita.
परंपरा हमारी गौरवशाली परंपरा हमारी सौभाग्य हमारा है हम इसके अधिकारी सौभाग्य हमारा है हम इसके अधिकारी प्राणों हम विश्व हिंदू परिषद हम विश्व हिंदू परिषद विश्व हिंदू परिषद विश्व हिंदू परिषद धर्मो रक्षति रक्षिता 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 धर्मो रक्षति रक्षिता.
The second part, sometime when we have time, we will finish it. Tomorrow, we are presenting the same kata, but full, part A and part B, uh, at for New York Chinmaya Center. That's going to be held in Hicksville, um, Long Island. And next weekend, on 11th, we are going and to Boston, Massachusetts. There are two centers in Boston, Massachusetts. One is in Andover, Massachusetts, and the other one is in the Westboro town. Morning, we are doing Gurudev's Katha in Andover Center, and in the afternoon, we are going to present this Katha in the Westboro Center. And we will be later on, we will be going to a couple of weeks later, Atlanta Chinmaya Center. So our intention is to take the story to as many centers as possible, as we have been blessed by Swami Shantananda ji and said, you must take this katha to different centers. And our request is spread the word, so that more centers, uh, make up their mind to call us, to know about a great Mahan who has contributed so much for us, for our society, for our children, for the Sanatana Dharma. We just want to take his message long. And we would like to thank our dear host, Anu and Somani ji. Thank you very, very much. And the beautiful daughter, who is the root cause for me to, for Anuji to decide to, she loves our shows. I mean, she came for Shiva Parvati Kalyanam, and she was sitting right in the front, middle of the night, early morning, 1 a.m. That's when we did Shiva Parvati Kalyanam for Shivratri. And this young kid was sitting right in the front through the night, and I think the katha went on until 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. in the morning. This kid was totally awake and participated in all the songs, singing, dancing, clapping. And she told her mom what she wants. Her birthday was last week, and we would like to wish her happy birthday. And and she asked her mom what she wants her birthday. She asked for the katha. So because of her, we are here today. Thank you very much. God bless you. And Gurudev is blessing you. Come, take it. Continue.